Salutations, fine folks and depraved maniacs, and for today's video I'm asking a rather simple sounding question. Can you beat Resident Evil 4 Remake as H.U.N.K? Well yes, most likely. If insane people can beat it with only a knife, or without dying, it's definitely possible. But that's not the point, is it? It's just to have fun and see what comes out of such a challenge. Now we need to cover two things. One, who the hell is H.U.N.K anyway? And two, what are the rules? Let's start with H.U.N.K. He was previously the leader of Alpha Team under the command of the Umbrella Corporation. He was sent in to retrieve the G-Virus sample, which he managed to do with a few hiccups. After the Umbrella Corporation fell, he became a legendary mercenary, but all of that doesn't really matter. All you need to know that he's a badass and he really likes gas masks. Onto the rules. There's a pretty standard rule set. The only weapons I have access to are the standard pistol and the TMP and LE5, as well as any knives and grenades. Now the argument can be made that he can use any weapons, like his inventory in the full Survivor, which was a full arsenal. But if we go by cutscenes and his animations in previous games, he's skilled with knives and usually carries them up, or as it's called in the real world, the USP. Which I have to say is fine with me, as H.U.N.K has good taste in guns. I've also added the sprint mod and a few minor tweaks, but nothing too crazy. Aside from all that, I'll just be playing on standard as I haven't played this game in like 4 months, so my skills are more than a little rusty. With all the information and rules covered, let's actually start. H.U.N.K's mission was simple and quite easy for someone of his skill. He was hired to take down a leader of some cult by the name of Osmond Sadler, and his second objective was to retrieve something called the Amber. Retrieving a small sample, we've already done that before. We start by immediately heading into the house and stare down the owner, remember the whole no witnesses thing, and immediately break his neck against the wall. With that sorted, we head upstairs, find some weird kind of wall of pictures which we don't think too much about, and immediately dive out the window. We head through the mountain pass without too much hassle, before reaching a village that has a rather unique type of firewood. We slit some throats and head into the main house, and lament the fact we can't use the shotgun. We grab the handy hand grenade though. We use it on Leatherface's number one fan, whip a couple of shots off into him, then follow it up with a flash and a knife to the jugular, and then finally a stake through the heart. We run around a little before being saved by the bell, but I still shoot this unarmed man for fun. After arriving at the farm and getting hit by a cow for some reason, I mean, what the hell cow? H.U.N.K only eats tofu. Aside from that, here's why I added a new rule. I can't use the map. Did it make sense? Not really. But I thought it'd be a fun extra change, so I could not open the map ever. We deal with the rest of the farmers and get revenge on the cow, then mop up the medallions around the area in quick succession. The next area was alright until a demo man caught me at a real bad time. After hearing some weird banging coming from a cabin, we investigate. We find some guy down there who could be useful before we're thrown to a pile of boxes by another giant guy in a coat. He tries to inject us with something, but you know, Kevlar. We wake up tied to the weird guy before we can really ask many questions. Another guy joins the fun and we break the second neck of the day. After weird guy escapes, we uncuff ourselves and try to find out where we are. Our gear is gone, but that's not really an issue, so a sliced throat and pierced heart, then a turned wheel, we have it back. We decide to hunt some rats as well. They count as witnesses. We meet the merchant, who for now can at least upgrade our pistol and help us make some extra cash. Me and the merchant will have a mixed relationship during this challenge. We head into the valley next. We get some revenge on Demo Man mains. We also get pretty unlucky with a random dynamite throw. We do run out of ammo, but nothing a knife can't solve, even if we almost get blown up again. We find the Leatherface sequel and deal with him via a flash and 2 stabs. The original was better. We investigate the nearby rather nice looking house. We hear some odd noises coming from this door, and enter, dealing with the man inside. We head upstairs and find Sadler and kill him.
Amazing, mission complete.
We get the key for the church, which should get us on the right trail of Sadler. Unfortunately, we're stopped by the Spanish Inquisition.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition!
We get choked and in a staring contest before we get saved by another merc, but still get chucked around like ragdoll. We retrieve our lovely USP and end the chapter. We start the chapter and save Lupo because H.U.N.K isn't evil. We find that the merchant is also selling a quite special TMP and immediately buy it. It's a quite lovely weapon and it's going to be our main weapon through most of this. We head through the village and into the church and take down Salazar. We continue ahead to a larger church and attack some graves for fun. The church is locked, so we head off to find the key. Along the way, we help warm a villager up. We could do the shooting range with the allowed weapons we have access to. Seeing as we can only use a pistol, knives, and SMG weapons, any charms that increase those or grant other bonuses would be quite nice. And our first charm is... well, there's only the first charm, but still, that does suck. The TMP gets to wet its teeth, and yeah, it's pretty good. We also deal with the most annoyingly lucky crossbowmen. A sneaker detonates because, as you can see from my crosshair, there's no way I hit the barrel. Then we go for a nice boat ride for a relaxing spot of fishing, then have a little sleep as the chapter ends. We wake up nice and rested. We do spot some evil spaghetti, but just flash it to deal with it. We head to the shipwreck in the middle of the lake and grab the red 9 for some extra cash. We grab the large bass, which isn't the lunker bass like I thought it was. We also get the TMP stock, which raises its style points by 100%.
Dismal. Smoke is sexy style!
Then we also sort our inventory. Then we grab the lunker bass to fix our earlier mistake. We also grab the golden egg. We collect all the hexagon pieces and complete that puzzle pretty easy actually. I was pretty proud I didn't get stuck on it for like 2 hours. During our travels we get enough tokens for a charm as well. We head down and get a... well, they do say 3rd time's the charm. With the collected heads, we get the church key, and hope Salazar is hiding there like the weirdo he is. We start to head towards the church before being trapped. Then, some weird furry starts to sing, which must annoy someone besides me, as a giant bursts through a door nearby. Now you might think I skipped over the medallions, but I actually found 4, but couldn't find the last one. And obviously I couldn't use the map or look it up, as that would be, well, cheating for this run. But during our giant fight, I actually spot it, and shoot it during the fight. We do take some hits during our fight, but handle it easily enough with some help from our wolf pal. So with a double tap just to be sure, we continue on to the church, which is unfortunately empty. Except for an old friend. we actually meet up with our pilot, the same one that helped us out of Raccoon City. Apparently they were here as a backup extraction, but had been discovered and had to hide out as they had lost their weapon. Having our backup pilot would be useful to bring with us, so we let them tag along. They immediately showed their worth and helped us out with the nearby ladder. We repay the favour by catching them, and they seem quite comfy in our arms. We deal with the group outside the church, and this is where I found a small bug, which is I can't actually help our pilot up if they get downed. Thankfully they get up by themselves easily enough if given enough time. We get the black attaché case as well. The extra large resource drops will be great for our TMP and flash grenades. It also aesthetically looked quite fitting, almost like our old sample case. In the next area, we face the biggest enemy yet, the frame rate. Even with the frame rate, we managed to take down the Savage Mud. We considered getting the laser sight, but decided not to. It wasn't against the rules or anything, but didn't feel like I needed it. We cross the bridge and get chased by a large group of enemies. I guess they heard about me wanting to take out that leader or something like that. I was ready to take them all on right there, until we spot the weird guy in a nearby cabin and head inside. We obviously want to kill him for leaving us behind, but we still needed info.
Hey, I see you found your missing señorita.
Although we will be killing him later, mostly because he misgenders our pilot. In the meantime, we need to deal with a horde of villagers. We let the pilot find a way out and deal with most of the enemies without much hassle. Soon enough, our pilot finds our exit and we escape with the weird guy in tow. He says he might know where Sadler is, so we let him go for now. Not like we needed to kill him right now. We start chapter 6 by lamenting the fact we can't get the riot gun. We need a crank to head to the next area. Thankfully we find one. After doing a 100% necessary backflip, we unfortunately see some cranky ladies want it. But we deal with them with haste. We also cause a nearby villager to fall quite funnily. Coke guy is back and still tossing us around.
It was at this moment that he knew. He stuffed up.
But we escape and get by without any further issue. The actual fight with him was actually pretty boring. Nothing really fun happened and the cutscene wasn't even accurate. We head to a castle next in hopes that Salazar might be here, and then chapter 6. We head through the halls and spot a couple of weird hardened spaghetti. I was worried about the archer wall, but actually do better than I usually do here and hit my shots pretty well. We use the cannon to deal with the catapults. We then deal with the medallions around without issue.
Oh, please, call me Ramon.
We meet the rejected drag queen, who immediately signs his own death by misgendering our pilot.
I would like you to hand the girl there over to me.
So we'll kill him for free. After dealing with a welcoming party, we head into the dungeons and find an Abe cosplayer that kinda messed it up. It's the mouth you sew, not the eyes. We deal with him without wasting any ammo and get an achievement to boot. We have one close call with a mace in the oil room, but overall it wasn't too bad. After getting the halo wheel, we help our pilot up and miss a surprising amount of shots. We then show some good accuracy and do a frame perfect shot and parry. We use every last TMP shot pretty well, then quickly rush over to grab a couple of pistol rounds to shoot the last 2 mucks. Me and the pilot split up so they can do some scouting, so we part ways for now.
Having a rough day, stranger.
We buy some extra body armor. We do the most professional actions in this run so far, and made me actually feel like H.U.N.K. We hit the ferry, make some spaghetti, then flash the spaghetti and the ferry. We then head up the stairs and rush over to the ferry, light him up with our TMP, then stab him in the throat. We quickly turn around and stun the 2 guys and blow up the barrel, which kills the guy on the stairs, then we stab the first stun guy and shoot the second again and suplex him into the floor. We get grabbed by one last cultist but break free with a knife to his throat, then kick him in the face and pump some more rounds in him while he's on the ground. We head into the next room and come across the extra mercenary revealed to be Ada. We have a friendly little fight and let her go since we owed her one.
Not a bad move. Very smooth.
We found some random woman crying, so we decided to just quietly leave and jump over the railing to meet up with our pilot in the maze. During our travels, we found enough tokens for 2 charms and get some that are leagues better than the previous couple, but nothing too amazing. I don't know what's up with the text either. I don't have any mods that changes it, it's just broken, but nothing else is different about them. We use a flash to completely disable the cutscene and kill another furry in a hail of TMP rounds. We get trapped in a cage, but despite all the rage of the cultists, they're still weak against being stabbed. We get a little surprise along with the knights probably, as instead of playing as the pilot as expected, when we get to the library section we are still H.U.N.K. I guess he just squeezed through the bars or something. Picking up the lantern makes us unable to pull our weapon out, but when we put it away during the puzzle downstairs, well... We start our journey in chapter 10 by taking care of the Golden Knight. Then we interrupt something, and before we can turn around and leave, we're grabbed by some cloaked thing and thrown down a hole. We also make enough money to fully upgrade our TMP now.
We've given this one all we have to give.
We head back up through the sewers before coming across some weird walking bug. We aren't a coward, so we fight it with all we got. Some perfect parries and dodges, as well as some help from some handy dandy ice showers. We can do some real damage to it. We deal the final blow with a flashbang and 2 stabs to its heart, which finishes off the bug. Heading up the elevator, we find the weird guy waiting for us.
Ready to go?
We start this chapter similar to our last. We're getting another charm. And we get a... That merchant is on thin ice. In the cave system we do a pretty cool stab move. We do have a couple of panic moments, but handle it well enough. Weird Guy proves he isn't completely worthless as he helps us with the chainsaw lady. Some guy bursts through the door and we quite rightly put him back through it. Kicking open the grate, we get grabbed by some armored giant. Landing down, we try and dunk the first one in lava, but I just have the worst luck with stuff like this. So I just decided to take the direct approach. Weird Guy helps us take out the second, and with our fully upgraded TMP, we make quick work of it. The car ride is the same as always. I almost clear it without getting hit, but get nicked on the second track. Ah well. We get enough money for our second max upgrade and get our mop maxed out as well. Overall, this was a nice little trip. Maybe we could let the weird guy slip away. He didn't really seem like a witness. Maybe we didn't have to kill him. Oh no, that bastard removed Weird Guy's textures. And Weird Guy had the sample we needed. That asshole. But this wasn't just any bastard, this was Krauser. Another merc last time we checked at least. But he seemed to want to fight, and would make him regret that desire. We do a little back and forth, exchanging some slices and blows. But we are still better at CQC. We get put on our ass, but Weird Guy gives us one last helping hand. We give him one last smoke and continue on with our mission. We start this chapter by getting the final medallion. We collected most during the previous chapters, but got stuck in the last one again.
That should do it.
We head back through the castle, showcasing some pretty good accuracy. We sit in the throne because why not? We try using a grenade on the painting, but that doesn't work, so we use the gold egg instead. I also head back through the castle and get a little surprise in the form of a furry and his pals. The trip over the clock tower was simple enough, only a small bit of fire. However, we report this cultist for cheating. Clearly, that was a no clip. We do some cultist bowling as well. Including crushing a furry. We get the final upgrade for our combat knife, which will come in handy later. We rush through and find that Salazar is not here. Then it gets worse as the little drag queen starts babbling. But we make good on our earlier promise and shoot him dead.
Utterly uncivilized mongrel.
We find a boat to assault the compound we see in the distance. We miss our pilot, but Ada shows up to give us a ride. We rush through the compound pretty easily and use some stealth for the next area. We even managed some stealth on one of the cows. We find a lab and spot these weird things. They're no Birkin, but they still suck. We even managed to kill one, but it did cost a chunk of ammo. We open a door and spot an old friend. Our RE4R. It was pretty much identical to our one back in Raccoon City, so we take it along with us. We find a biosensor scope in the next area, and surprisingly we can actually put it on our RE4R. I just didn't know that was an option. After grabbing the scope, we head back to the merchant and finally use an upgrade ticket. I'm sure some of you are getting annoyed I wasn't using it. We get a call from our pilot and decide to wait for them to show up. As an almost ritual, we start this chapter by getting another charm again, and this time we get That goddamn merchant is gonna pay. We head through the refinery and are extremely thankful for the pilot's helmet, as we totally just shoot them in the face, but it wasn't fatal. Continuing on into the sewer, we use our superior speed to get back to our pilot before they can be harmed. We also drop one of the monsters down a hole. We also spot some kind of spider dance party happening behind some bars. In the next area, our pilot lives up to their name and pilots a crane. They help us destroy a wall, and we use some grenades to help them out a little. We take down another cow and give a spider thing the Detroit special.
28 stab wounds.
After that, we head back to the merchant to give our RE4R a complete upgrade. After that, we collect the last medallion needed in the area. We also quickly deal with the Iron Maiden in the lab. Heading up the elevator, we actually find Sadler, who starts to prattle on, so we do our mission.
I am Osman Sadler, the speaker for our Lord. Foolish lambs, why do you deny grace?
Well, that's not good. Using telekinesis or something on me and the pilot, we can't really fight back. But the pilot proves their worth again by killing some random bedsheet gals. Then Sadler leaves with our pilot. Well, now it's personal. We continue on, finding Krauser's camp as well as some photo of some random guy.
Who the fuck are you?
We don't judge his taste, but it's still kinda creepy. We're pretty well stocked before we head into his arena. Immediately we were just gonna walk past his little theatrical display, but he knows just what to say to make me want to stab him. What follows is a simple lesson in fighting. If you're gonna fight, make sure you bring your own theme music. After a perfect parry combo, he retreats. Maybe he learned his lesson, but seems Krauser has gone truly mad and turns himself into a monster. We don't need some virus to be powerful. We approach Krauser, just another monster of his own making. The guts aren't all that different from him. We give him a fitting end, one merc to another, and pierce his heart with his own blade. We start off this chapter by using our second ticket to upgrade Kraz's knife immediately. We get some air support and do a perfect duck. We use a frag to destroy the AA gun. After our battle, we collect the last set of medallions. We remember all the shitty charms the merchant gave us and deal with him. We blow up some hardened spaghetti, or so we thought, and really only survived because of Kraz's knife. So in a way, he saved us. We find Sadler and our pilot. We choose to save our pilot over killing Sadler when Ada shows up to give us some covering fire. We find Ada later on and decide to help her out as our pilot gets our extraction ready. We face Sadler head on and he turns into that. We completely humiliate Sadler by throwing an egg into his eye as well. Then we finish him off. Or not. So we just decide to take the direct route and finish our mission. Ada heads to her own extraction. She offers us a ride, but we have our own extraction to get to. H.U.N.K says the line,
My extraction point.
and our pilot helps us get out of there. So we did it. So can you beat Resident Evil 4 Remake as H.U.N.K? Well, yeah, clearly. We also get 100% accuracy. We definitely didn't, so probably just a bug. But overall, it was a pretty fun time. And I enjoyed just playing it and writing my little story. It wasn't perfect, but I hope some of you chuckled once or twice. If you want more of me, I go to Twitch. I've been trying to get that going for a while. So with nothing else to add, I'll see you all in the next one.